Okay, we should be live in a few seconds. Still not able to hear me. Let me see what I can do. Microphone seems to be here. I didn't change anything from that. Let me see if I can test the audio. Audio test there. Test speaker. Yes. Okay, I have to say something in the microphone now and then see if it works. It seems to work on my side, but I'm not sure why it's so low. This microphone doesn't have any. It's a very simple microphone with no place. It's not like the one I had before. I don't see anywhere here to increase volume, mute, or anything. Is it better now? Can you guys hear me louder?
Oh, this is awesome now, yeah.
It's
Okay,
okay. It's okay.
okay, great. So let's go. I just bring it closer to me. That's all. I think that's the best that could work. It's one of these very simple microphones. Maybe there's somewhere to tune it up or so. I haven't really looked into that because there's no buttons or anything in it. Anyway, that said, let's go. I think we're live. YouTube is asking me to confirm that I'm not a robot, so we'll be okay. Good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room. We're live on YouTube today. As promised, this entire week we'll be going live, so we will be live this afternoon, 8 a.m. London time. We'll be live Thursday and Friday. Join us if you can. As usual, we'll go through the trades we took yesterday afternoon and what happened to those trades. That's a process we do every time when you come in the room. What were the trades we took the last time? What we did with them, and we'll look for new trades today or new setups. I think on YouTube somebody was asking me what the hell I'm talking about FOMC today. I'm not sure, but I'm using Forex Factory and it says at 9 p.m. my time today we have FOMC minutes. Can somebody confirm to me that that is right?
Yes, it's right. It's
Hey,
9 p.m.
so I have no idea where he came out with it. He says there's no FOMC today. So maybe he misunderstood what when I was talking about, because we were already talking about tomorrow it's going to happen, not yesterday. So today, yes, we will definitely trade that. We're looking at it today. Okay, so let's go. Maybe a misunderstanding. All set. So let's start. I'll start from the very top. We were looking at the silver buy. I think that turned out to be a good trade. And like I said, you don't have to close it on the first pullback. You always close it on when it starts to make that consolidation. So if you were looking at all of these, there was one common thing. It was going up. This was the point where it dropped and it didn't go back to it to test the top, right? It didn't continue to do that. And that will be your exit because we anticipate that it's going to drop, right? We didn't think this was going to take off like a rocket. So the worst case, if you didn't know what to do, was that you would have closed the trade for break even. If you didn't, you still have a chance to close it now for break even. Here's the interesting thing now. We will be selling this today. As long as it stays where it is, it's a sell setup. I'll take this out from there and I'll put it here now. So I'll take this out also. We don't need those. So we're looking for a sell setup on this today. There's a perfect flag forming here. There's a perfect reversal pattern in terms of the impulse coming back straight here. And you want to get this trade here. Now, here's a problem. It's not guaranteed that that is going to happen, right? Because you notice there's a kind of cluster at the top. Then when they cluster at the top here, they tend to come here and go higher. It could end up at the top here. And if it does that, then we're going to cancel the sell. We're going to let it pull back, and then we go for the buy. Now, can we trade this here? Some of my, sorry about that. Some of my traders can make that trade. So if it stays where it is, the entry is here, the stop is above the top, we go. Can we get it earlier? In this case, no, I don't see any flag here, any sharp impulse or flag. What I see here is a possible flat. That is a possible flat for one more up. Not the trade we'll be buying, because up means it can just tag the stop and come back. Now, if it goes higher and we get a trade here, we'll consider that. But first, let's look for the sell setup. We don't have any other sell setup. We'll use the last impulse. So the strategy will be wait on this impulse and let's see if it's dropped to the bottom. So this becomes a sell. We had a buy in the pong. I think you close that. I'll take it as a break-even trade because it didn't. Sorry, guys, my voice is scanning. Give me a second, please. Yep, sorry about that. So this hasn't gone very far. If you close it for a few pips, it's okay. I'll consider the break-even trade. So we'll take this off, right? At the moment, it's not. Remember, we're the top of this bigger structure. You always have to remember that we're the top of that bigger structure, and there's a reason we're cautioned there because very cautioned about any trade because this could come down. Now, if we get a sell setup, that would absolutely be a trade we'll take. There is no sell setup as yet, but you could possibly get a sell setup here. Right, there's this little pullback. I probably wouldn't go with that because this is not dropping. What would be better is if this goes back up. So you can see if this come back to about here, and you don't want it to go too high. You want it to stay in this range. If it comes back here, it's a flat for upside, right? That would be the case. So right now it's very nice for a sell setup, probably a 15-minute trade. You can see it better. Yeah. Got a good 15-minute trade. If any one of you took it aggressively from here, put it to break even and keep it because you haven't got a lot of profit, right? But can this drop more? Maybe it's just going too slow. So it would be better if it goes back up first, right? If for any reason this kind of, go back here, this would be a perfect trade, right? And then we can look for this now. So it's kind of a sell setup, but it's not valid as yet. This line is incorrect. We have to break the top to put it. But I'm just putting it here. The correct way to put it is here, right? But let's see if it goes back up first. So we're looking for a little up and then the sell. So it changes the sell setup at the moment. If it's going to be a buy, it will take a much longer time. Because if it's going to be a buy, this would have to come back all the way to the top here, come back here, make this flat, and then the buy. So let's go with the sell first and see if we get a buy later. Okay, what I'm going to do is I want to go through all of them that has something in them so we don't have to. This one, we're looking for a buy setup. It didn't pull back. You don't have a buy here. Take this. You're getting a buy setup here, right? It's still a buy setup. You can actually put it as an active buy. But the hope is that it actually pull back. We haven't got this, and maybe we will get it much more in the future. We'll take it out for now. We haven't got the bigger one. I'll just move the bigger one up. So we can go with this buy. You'll have to take it with a lot of caution. We have a lot of divergence here. Right, you can see the divergence here, quite a lot of divergence, which means that at some point it's going to pull back. It might just break the top and pull back, but we just actually took off 2 trades like that. So why not take the third one and see where it goes? So this can be an active buy. This could change into an active buy. Aussie, we're getting a sell setup finally. That might be a deeper correction. We anticipate some deep corrections eventually on this thing. We haven't got any deep corrections, and this one is a much better one. Some of you might already be in a trade from this one here. That would be good. These are corrective sells, right? We're selling for a deeper correction. The move is pretty huge if you look at a 4-hour. It has moved quite a lot without any and you have this big one here. So you move quite a lot. We haven't had any correction. So let's see if we can get a correction that will bring it back here. Maybe, make something like this and then go break the top. I am not sure we'll put this. I keep looking at this possibility for running flatter. I think eventually we might end up with that because that's the closest to that. Or this stands alone as a smaller pullback. It does has a lot of correction at the bottom, but not at the top of it. We'll see. We'll come back to that. So right now there's a sell setup here. It's a 15-minute trade. Manage it in the 15-minute. Don't let it go back to the top. Right? You can't let the correction go back. It has to stay in this range. And then the sell is ideal. So I'll put this as an active sell. Which means Aussie might just slowly consolidate downwards. Not drop, but slowly. This one is moving faster on the downside. Aussie could continue to come down. We're not going to get in the buy, but we don't have a sell setup on it. CAD. Okay, so it's not, well, I wouldn't say I wouldn't put that running flat because there's a lot of consolidation in here, which means I'll take this out. We'll put that with something else. I'll put that running flat with something else. And then assume probably even with this one, you could go with an argument to that. You might even put it with this one, we'll see. But then we make an assumption that this is making its own thing here. That if it consolidates here a lot, the chances are it's going to go back up and give us a flat here. That would be a better trade. So we'll take out the sell. And we don't have a buy setup in it, so we just wait. Take off that and wait. Swiss is coming down. I'm not sure we can sell it here. It might be, you've got this single pullback in this one. So let's see if this goes back one more, and then we get this. And then the sell would be better from here. Right? If you're going to sell this, put it under the low. Right? If you think this is the one that is going to drop, because I don't know if you're selling it from the top, or it has to be a 5 minute, right? You'll have to be in the 5 minutes to trade this. But if it makes a running flat with this, then that would be ideal. If this to make a running flat, then that would be an ideal trade. Come here, go back up, and then give us, like, go back up for this one. And then that is a pattern we can trade. If it is going to, if this is all you get, then it's going to drop. The sell will have to be under the low. So we either get a running flat or we get a sell under the low. How far we think this is going to go if it drops? Well, if it keeps dropping to that, we're going to tag this low, and we might tag this low. There's no necessity to tag this low. That means retesting the low again, but it could happen. So we'll see whether they break the low again. Break the low once more. We're going to put this from here, going up. So on the bigger picture, it would be like this. We're still in the same structure. We're still in this structure. And the question is whether we're going to come back and break this low. I think we're coming. At the start of it, it didn't look like that. It looked like they were trying to make a flat to go. But now that this consolidation is breaking through, you're just a few pips away from the low. Probability is high. We're going to break that low and then go back up. So let it break the low one more time. And then we hope that is the start of the upside. Go back on the 1 hour. This would be the trade. Let's see if we get this flag to it could be bigger than that, but this would be enough for the trade. If it goes back up there, that would be enough for the sell. So you can put it as an active sell, but you have to put an entry here. That is just assuming that this continues to drop. Yen. So the sell on the yen yesterday was here. If you took it, or here, I explained both of those in details, how we would manage them and what are the trade setups. I think we did get a pullback. There was that pullback, not perfect, not all the way back to the top, but that would be enough for you to put the entry order, or you can put it here. Both of them worked well. Now, whether you close the trade here or not is your call, right? But you should have done that. Somewhere in here, you should have closed that trade. It's pulling back, which means I think we're going to go more downside. As of now, this is still sell setup, right? That is still sell setup. Smaller flags, but sell setup. We can actually try to sell this as it stands here right now. If you want to sell this, it's a very aggressive trade. That is assuming you would have to put an entry order here. But with the intentions, I'm going with the last impulse. If you put in a 5 minutes, you'll see what I mean, right? This would be the last impulse up. But with the intentions that this thing might consolidate much more, right? If you're taking this trade aggressive, there's a rare chance you think this is going to drop to the bottom. It might come here and even, kind of do more of this and then go back up, making a bigger flat. If this goes up, do we want to buy it? There's a small expanding flat there. I'm not sure in the 5 minutes buying correction is a good idea. If I want to buy this, you guys know the rule. When it starts to do this, it has to come out and then we buy. Right? It has to make a bigger correction out of the small channel and then we decide it's a buy. So right now it's a sell setup. We do have some divergence at the bottom. The bigger picture is going down very nice. It could still drop. So I think we should wait, hope for the sell. Let's see what happens and see if we get a sell. Euros, 1 hour. We kind of tagged the low, but it's consolidating at the top. You can still leave this here. By the way, if you got tagged in any trade there, you should have closed it. I think it should be under. It should be under this one. But if you took it there, and I mean, this is the hourly, right? You know the rules. You're not going to keep the trade for 4 hours, not going anywhere. Right? So if there was anything that tagged you there, I don't see any reason why we would have put it there. Again, I think it should have been under here. But for whatever reason it was here, you close that trade, right? So what we're going to do now is we're in this consolidation, and this has to break the top. This is making a flat here. Not one you want to buy, right? Because this is the lowest point. So you want to break this top and then maybe pull back like this. We're going to get a running flat here. Go back up and then drop. Right? This should be the core correction. So we're not, you don't have to put, you can leave the entry order here, but that's kind of, I don't think it will get tagged anytime soon. Can we sell from the top, come down? That might be a good point. Let it break this stop here, and if we get a good sell setup, that's about 54 pips. We can sell it inside of the pattern coming down from the top. So we look for a sell setup here. Euro New Zealand. That was a buy. I think it's a good trade. It did exactly what we wanted to do. So it made a small one. It made a small one. The first pullback you should not worry about. It went and then it made another pullback here. I would probably be looking at this as a running flat. And once it goes start to pull back, you'll think about closing it. But if it didn't close it here and it come back here, probably could have closed it here. If it didn't and it come here, you wait for it to go back up, you definitely want to close it. Because by now you're convinced that this is making a correction. So the whole structure, if for traders who might have taken this trade and don't know wave analysis or don't know how to exit trade the way we would exit trade, you can use this as a good learning to take break even if you did. I would say let's put a sell here now instead of the buy. Now, if we're gonna buy this, you want to see some really good setups there. I don't see good setups. With this deep pullback in play, you have this one, you have this one, and you have this one. So we can either put these two together for one and assume that this here come back here and then go. Something like that. It makes sense. If it makes a correction here and go one more, if this piece makes some correction here and go one more, it's still possible that they'll pull back for this one. Because I don't think we're going to use this as an expanding flat. Doesn't really fit perfect. So if we get a pullback to the bottom, whether we can sell it from the top, we'll take the trade. Because the range is huge. I think it's over 100 pips. So from the top coming back here, well, that's 55 pips only. If you don't get the sell, wait for it to come here and see if it goes up, goes back. The sell should be under here. If we can get a sell inside, we'll take it. Right now it's making a flat, which means one more downside is possible. If you're looking at it this way, you're thinking, well, okay, this could still come one more here and then go back up. I'll take out this, take out the buy. I think that was a good trade. We don't have anything right now. You can put the sell if you want, but we better to get it from the top. So I'll just leave it open. I'll take this off. Let's leave it open. Euro Swiss. That sell was good. You would have got a second sell here if you took it. And you're getting a third one. We don't want this sell here. You want to pull back now. This is dropped out of the structure. So if it consolidate quite a lot there, we'll assume they're going down much more, right? We'll assume that this whole thing is, yep, it's coming lower. It can be that they would eventually do one more of that here. Possible. So for the sell setup, you want to see more of a big flag here if it happens. Let's see what we're getting. You're getting kind of a consolidation here. See? So the longer it stays here, the more it consolidates in this range, the better for this sell. As of now, it's still a sell setup. I don't see any buy setup here. There's no sharp impulse in a flag. So if it's going to go up, it has to go straight up here, then make a flag, and then we'll consider it buy. So it's still a sell setup. You can put an entry order under the low. There's a lot of time. That's a lot of hours of consolidation. It's not perfect in its form. Well, it can be, right? All you need, you can make an argument for this one here. Go back there. Drop again, give us one more like this. Go back there and then look for the sell. So if all the consolidations stay in this range and then go back up to the top, we're selling. So you can put it as an active sell, but I don't think it's over. So we leave it as an active sell. The previous sells were this one or this one, these two. We had a flag here. We're looking for a buy setup. The break of this, that didn't break out. You're getting a sell setup now. This broke out of the structure. That's a channel. It broke out of the channel. You're getting a sell setup. What would it be? And where would that take us? Let's go to the bigger picture. Is there a big move to the downside? Well, not a big move, but a deeper correction is possible. Right? This could come much deeper before they go back up. Let's see where we're going to put that. I don't think we have a sell setup as yet. It's actually not consolidating the way I would expect to consolidate. Like you're not supposed to have consolidation there if it's dropping. So let's see if this goes back up. If this goes back up, we get a bigger correction here. And then, yes, that would make sense for a sell. So for now, we just wait. I'll take it off for now. We'll wait. Aussie yen. Okay, this didn't go back up. We broke the top. It's just making more correction and more downside. So we didn't get this running flat, right? That what we were expecting was this running flat. 1, 2, 3. It did drop very far, but we're not going up. We're actually consolidating here. So the question is, can we just put that with something else or just leave it alone? We'll see. I don't like I don't like this I don't like this one here for sellers yet. So there's a possibility that this is an expanding flat. And this just crawls up slowly back to the top without the buy, which means we're not going to have a good buy setup on it. We also don't have a good sell setup, so I'll take this out. Let's wait on this as well. And New Zealand CAD for the sell. Okay, so you could have, if once it break out and it starts coming back in the thing, you can take this off. It kind of still goes sideways. It didn't channel the way you expected. So this is a sell setup. We'll take this out. We'll put the sell here. If that flag stays there, there was a flag here earlier, but we missed that. So we look at this one and see if we get more consolidation here. So that's a good sell setup. It's more of a correction. I don't think we're trying to, or that's a reversal point. That could also be the reversal point if this is going down. If this is 1, 2, 3 for downside, that's a reversal point. So that sell is a must. And then we'll manage it to see where it goes. So I'll leave it as a sell now. It's an active sell. I think that was for the news. I had it there that if you're going to trade, there was a New Zealand news this morning or something that is going to drop it. So we're like, if there's going to be a news event, use that in the channel, but it went up higher. So let's see. Sorry, not this. Cadian. There was a sell setup. There was a nice flag here to sell. If you use this, you would have gone. It's kind of not going anywhere right now. It's very similar to the dollar yen, I think. This is kind of going up, very aggressive, but we never broke the slow. So we'll leave that alone. Cat Swiss. This didn't go anywhere. That was very serious Monday. We actually came down much lower. So we'll have to take this off because this is not the running flat. If it is the running flat, it's going to be this here. I don't think it is because this move down is much bigger. Right? That move down is much bigger. We'll have to put that with something else. So if you put it here, let's see what we have. This is a much deeper pullback. Right? It's bigger than this. Although it could still be a running flat. If this goes up from here, we'll still use this as the option of a running flat. Because we have this correction in here. See? This is very sharp. And then you have this correction in here after a sharp one. So this possibility is what we look at for upside. So go to the 15. Let's see what we have here. Nothing, but we can get a buy setup. It looks more like a sell setup with this piece here, with that one there. And we have this on a lot of these pairs. You may want it to go back up there, complete this. And if we see that, we can sell it. I think we have the same similar one at dollar Swiss. We have one of these patterns already. So let's see. It could be a sell setup, but nothing as yet. And Swiss yen sell. No, the Swiss yen sell, I'll go with break even. We're selling this flag, it drop here, pull back, go here, pull back, go there, pull back, go. You close the trade for break even. You have enough reasons to do it, right? It's like there is a lot of reason to close that trade. So right now we're sideways. And this looks upside. This looks like 1, 2. So is it trying to go? Well, it might be doing this right now. We could be doing this consolidation here. So if it comes back like that, we go for one more up. Now, can we sell this here? That's the question. So we have to go and see what's the range in that. That's 127 pips. So let's go in. If we sold it earlier, we sold this one here. You can also sell this. So the same thing you wanted to do. You wanted to drop a little. You wanted to make a flag, and then we'll sell this flag to this low, and then look for the buy. So we could get a sell and a buy. We just have to wait. So we're gonna wait for this sell that should have closed already. Right, we're gonna go because this range is huge, right? For even if from there to there you got a 1-to-1 closing it. Let's see if we can get a 2-to-1 here now. So all we need is a little flag here now, some kind of a flag here. And then we look for the sell. So I'll put look for a sell setup. And this one we had to sell. Somebody asked about this, and I think that was a sell. I don't know if they took the trade. It went amazing. I think somebody asked me from YouTube, and I was like, that's a good sell. So if you took that, you probably close it somewhere in here. Because if it dropped that much and you're here, you probably only close, and that's at 5 minutes. The 15 minutes would be ideal closing there. We might get another sell, 15-minute sell set up today. Let's see if we get another sell set up. That's one more drop. We can take the trade. So that trade was amazing. That sell was good. Okay. And that is for all the trades. Okay, well done, Avito. That's a nice one. Yeah. I mean, that was an easy trade. That was a giveaway. So well done. Good job. So here's what we're gonna do now. We looked at all the trades with the setups we had yesterday. I'm gonna look at all the majors that we didn't look at, which is I think a few of them because we looked at all of them already. We're gonna look at some other pairs that has setups in them, and you will tell me what other pairs you want to look at. So we looked at silver already. Did we look at gold? Okay, gold kind of dropped. We were expecting that pullback and then the upside, and it seems like we're getting it. We got a very sharp pullback. Was there a sell setup in it? Not exactly. I didn't see there. This one did pull back here and go, so take out that little one. But this big drop happened. It did break the top. There was this huge flat there. I don't think it's an ideal sell setup. Maybe we'd have to skip it. And now you're here, right? So the question is, can we put that as the running flat? Because that's what we're looking for, right? We're expecting a move the equivalent of this, except that it's sharp. And if that is the running flat, then is this a buy setup? I think we do have a buy setup here. Right? So we can take this out and put it here as a buy setup. And if this is the running flat, like we had this flat here, right? And then we had this flag that took off. If we got it right and this is the running flat, then this should take off. Right? That was the plan, and you're getting something similar. Some of you could have been in this trade already. Some of you could have been in that trade already, but you would have closed it, right? Because it's not moving. We'll do the same here. If we take it and it doesn't go, we'll close it. Because if it's making corrective structure here, then this would become its own running flat. So let's see. The buy seems like a good idea here. So we put a buy setup. Euro. Euro went up yesterday some from here. It didn't give the ideal setup, but it kind of dropped, consolidate, go. You have another consolidation here that took off already. If you wanted to buy this, you'd have to buy it. Sorry. You'd have to buy it here on the last impulse. Because there was that small channel there. The way you trade channels, you'll put an entry above the top of the channel for it to go. It's already going, so there's nothing you can do there. We'll just let it go. It's probably coming to retest this top. Yeah, we're going to retest that top. And if we break that top, then we'll pull this whole line here. And we will consider if we want to relook this one like this. Right into 1, 2, 3, and this is upside. So that possibility exists. We'll see. We're breaking the top, so as of now, we'll assume that we're still in this correction. We're still in this impulse. So this breaks the top, it still has to come back. No trade setup, not in the 1 hour, not in the 15. We already finished all of those. I think we finished CAD as well. We looked at CAD. This sell is there. Look for another sell. Wait for this to make a flat and then we'll sell it. This is coming down here. Let's go back up. We get this flat and then we sell. So CAD, we will be looking for a sell setup. I don't think the buy is a good idea because the range is not that big. The range is 35 pips and we're not at the bottom of it. So by the time you get the trade set up, it will be you have 10 pips remaining. We finished all of those. So only these are remaining. We don't normally do all of them. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna tell me which one you want me to look at, and I'll take a look at those. So also from YouTube, we can take comments, so you can tell me what you want. There are two messages deleted. Let me see when you see something like what you're showing in Euro New Zealand, how do you understand if the first upward wave is an impulse or wave A of a correction? I mean, other than higher time frames. Well, here's the thing. I get what you're saying. You don't have to know that, right? You don't have to know that, right? So you can take any chart. Let's take this very chart here. So we're going to go with the CAD. It's coming down right now, right? The first thing you have to know is you have to look at the higher time frames. You have to look at the higher time frame because you want to know if this move is ending any bigger pattern. Because it could be going down, but this might be the end of a big pattern that is about to go back up. That is why we do all these forecasts, right? There's a reason I have this line here, and there's a reason we are saying that if we broke this top here, we don't need to break that up, but even if we break it, we're going to come back here and go back there and then come back here. See, these are yearly forecasts. These forecasts, and this one is not going to happen until next year. But I'm looking at the direction of where it should go and then trade towards that direction. Now, do we trade corrections? Of course we do it because you're going to have a lot of big corrections in it. So your question is, if I have an impulse going up, how would I know whether that impulse is starting a move to the top or whether that impulse is the A wave of a possible flat here? And you don't have to know that. See, that's the interesting thing, because if I think it's going to correct, then I will decide, I have to decide how big would that correction be. And if I think that that correction could go pretty much, let's say I see this flag and I think that correction to come here, then that's a buy setup for me. Now, the depth of this correction is what's going to change that into a flat. From a flag to flat, the deeper it comes into the impulse, the higher your probability that is a flat for downside and not a flag for upside. I hope that answers your question. Now, again, all of these things look pretty easy when I'm showing you them, right? It's like you're watching an action movie and you're watching people making, doing things, and you're like, I can do that. That looks easy, especially when you're looking at it, right? Because you understand how it's done. And it's looked pretty easy, but it's the height. The problem is when you go, I mean, you watch games, you watch people play games. You look at it and you watch how they do it. That looks easy to do. But then when you try doing it is a problem, right? That's the thing, is that the charts are already prepared for each directional move. So you have an easy task of just identifying which direction it's going. And then you just have to look for a flag or a flat, right? Now, when you take a chart by yourself and you open it, just pick any random chart, you totally confused. You don't even know where to start and how to look for patterns. Most of my traders would trade for a year or two to finally identify patterns themselves, like correctly identify the patterns. It's not an impossible task. It just calls for a lot of training, right? How many people are there in your trading room? Can I get to speak with them while installment program? Well, right now they are in the trading room. We have about, I don't know how much, 20 people in the trading room. I'll have to check. 17 people in the room right now. 16 plus me, 17 people in the room, and we had Victor, that was 18. So you have that amount of people in the room right now. That is for this session. In the group itself, we have about 200, I think, maybe around 200 active traders. The amount of people trained that has access to the group is over 1,000. Now, not all of them are there. Some people left, some people come back. So every now and then people will come, people will go, and we filter the group every week. Every 2 weeks, we filter the group to inactive traders, filter out inactive traders. So because we are paying for the group, right? The group, it's a paid space. Everybody has to pay for their space. So if someone is not going to train for a couple of months or not trade for a couple of months, then we just deactivate them until they come back. Now, all the traders in the group are active traders, which means they are trading. We know that they watch the recording, they watch all the things, because if we don't see them as active, we deactivate them so that, we don't have to pay for that. Although they pay for it themselves, but they can use the money the next time when they come back. As to talking to the people in the group, I don't know. Any one of you guys want to chat with somebody wants to chat with you? Balu K wants to chat. Go on any of my YouTube video and ask anybody whatever question you want to ask. Some one of them will answer you. I'm not sure how you're going to chat with them directly. And I am not sure what you're going to try to ask them. If you're going to try to ask them what they're doing in the group, you can see what we do. You can make your own decisions, right? We do this at least 3 times a day, sometimes 5, 6, depending on how active the traders are, because they open the room in the Asian session before I get up from bed, and then somebody close it while I'm asleep in the New York session. And in between, I would be here for the London. I normally come in the Asian lunch, London and New York session in a normal thing, and all sessions where we have like news in between. So like this afternoon, 9 p.m. we have FOMC. I would be in the room at 8:30. I think it's 9 p.m. Let me just check the time. I would be in the room at 8:30, and the traders will join me there. Right? That's a session we will trade live. So I don't know. Just go on YouTube and type what question you want. Somebody would answer you. Or you can ask there for somebody to give you their details to speak to them. Maybe be careful of one of the spammers giving you his details, right? But I think you should make your own decision if you want to join the group. Look at what we do and make that decision based on whether that is helpful to you. Your experience is not going to be the same as anybody else in the group. I can promise you that it's not going to be the same. Because we have people in the group and I can see the different level of success they're making. And their experience in the group is different. Some people become extremely successful, some people become moderately successful, and some people are still struggling. Success is individual, right? It doesn't matter whether you have access to the same amount of knowledge and the same amount of possibility. Success is still an individual thing. What about Fibonacci? Nothing about them. Why worry about Fibonacci? It has nothing to do in your trading. Fibonacci is a strategy people sell. So if I want to sell you something, I have to package it. So if everybody is selling support and resistance, let me sell Fibonacci. Fibonacci doesn't help you read the charts because it does not tell you what the chart is doing at any given time. And it may or may not go to any of those points you put in a Fibonacci thing. Right? It doesn't have to go there. It may or may not go, but it's like any random thing you put on the chart. Right? A random line does not tell you that this is what the chart is going to do. You can say, okay, it will come to this line, it will break this line. Yeah, it's definitely going. It's moving up and down. Why not? It's going to break any line you put. It's going to stop at the line you put. It's the same with Fibonacci, except the difference with Fibonacci and the support and resistance line is that the Fibonacci, you're differentiating percentage of how far you're putting the lines from one another. And in support and resistance, you're just randomly putting them where you see there's a consolidation, and you're hoping that in the future consolidation somewhere here will be the same. So you can take a random line like this and put it here. And you can say, because there was a consolidation here, somewhere here, we're going to get a consolidation under it, above it. Well, not necessary. Let's pull the chart back and see. See? Some places they were, some places they weren't. And I'm pretty sure if you go at some look, there was a consolidation here, but there was a one here, but there wasn't, it stopped here, it passed through here like nothing, it passed upward. It doesn't mean anything. It's useless information. But because the chart is going up and down, you can do that. You can always think of it differently. Think of people buying Canadian dollar against the US dollar. Think of if you have a company and you're exporting things to the US, right? So you get paid in US dollar, but your company's in Canada and you have to pay salary in the 15th. So you call your department that is in charge of paying salary, your accounting department, and say, hey guys, convert $1 million tomorrow because we are going to pay salary, right? And you go to the bank and you say, hey, we would like to convert it. And it said, sorry, no, you're at a resistance point. We can't convert. We're not converting. Make sense? You go to the bank and say, hey, we would like to convert $1 million. Oh, well, we are not buying the US dollar right now because US dollar is right now losing value. The bank is going to tell you that? I don't think so. I don't think the bank is going to tell you, well, we're about to hit the moving average, so we're not going to go sell any or anything now, right? That stuff doesn't happen. They will fill your order regardless of where it is and what it's doing. So they're not looking at anything in the charts to fill your order. You want to buy, they'll sell to you. They have a price, they're selling it. So they will buy and sell all day, every day, as long as they're open, with no regards to anything you can imagine that is in the chart. But what we are saying is while they're making those transactions, it creates a certain pattern because that company might call to the bank on the 15th of every month and on the 30th of every month to pay salaries. So we know that that specific company is converting so much US dollar every month to pay salary, once or twice a month to pay salary. And there's a million different companies like that. You start to see a pattern, right? Some companies on a specific date will be sending off money back to the US to their so when they sell with their product, if they're selling product locally and they get Canadian dollar, but they have to buy things from the US, they will convert Canadian to US, and they will do the specific dates. They don't randomly do these things. And that create patterns. And that is what we said. If you can figure out those patterns, you can learn how to take advantage of it because you would see a pattern, which means they're converting at a certain rate at a certain period of time, but it has to move up or down at some point. It's not going to stay there forever. So at some point of time, it will go up or down. And if you can figure out which direction it's going to go after any specific consolidation range, any specific range of where the bank was trading, like for 5 days, the exchange rate is this, but then 2 days after it drop, right? 5 days they trade for that. The 2 days it goes like a little lower, and then 1 day it suddenly drop. You're like, what the hell happened? Well, not much happened. That's a normal thing. It happens all the time. And it's not specifically based on any news event. It happens out of the news event, and sometimes they use the news event to make it happen. You don't have to focus on all the unnecessary thing. Focus on the necessary thing. Can I figure out that pattern, and can I take advantage of it? Whether you think there's a support or resistance there, whether you think there's a Fibonacci line there, whether you think there's a moving average, that is unnecessary. You can put all the moving averages in your chart. I saw one they call it the rainbow moving average or something. It's like 100 moving average in the chart. I'm like, what's the point? You're trying to prove that it's going to stop at one of them? It will. You don't have to put 100. You can put one and it will stop at that at some point in time, going up and down. But the bank is not paying attention to that. If it's hitting your moving average and somebody comes in with a huge sum and want to sell, it's going to pass through the moving average like there's nothing there, depending on where the bank is going to fill that order or how much orders the bank will have to do with other banks to fill that order. So a bank wants to buy $1 million US, calls another bank, said, oh, we only have 200K to give to you, or another one 200K. I'm just giving you in simple terms, right? One bank can fill $1 million, but what if it is 20 million? What is it 50 million? What is 100 million? Maybe they'll have to buy from 6 different banks at 6 different days, filling the orders in a certain range, right? You don't have to know all of that. What you do know is that you can see that all the transactions have been filled within a range. And you know for sure that they're going to break out of that range. That is absolute. You know that. You can see it every day. Now, the only question in your mind that should be is, how do I take advantage of this? That's all you should be thinking of. If I can see it, then how do I take advantage of it? I hope that helps you make your decision whether you should be in the group or not, right? If not, just keep learning and just keep trading. You might find your own path to success. You definitely don't have to be in the group to be successful. But if you really, really want to be in the group to be successful, then yeah, that will help you. And there's a lot of good traders in the group to help you. And it's a nice place to be. Knowing a group of people like that is the best thing that's happened to me. When I went to Dubai, I mean, the guys were really, really great, helping me setting up, living there, keeping it nice. It's amazing. I'm pretty sure if I go to any country, I'll find somebody who knows me. When I was in New York, twice I met up with traders in New York. That is when I told him I was going. The last time I went for my mother's funeral, I didn't meet with anybody. But twice I met with traders. I think when I went to Spain, I met one guy only. But I never like say, well, I'm advertising it. But I'm pretty sure if I go to any country, I want to meet people, I'll meet people. So look at it that way. Look at life as a bigger thing, not just trading. You have some amazing traders in there. Oh, we have Johan in the group. I just saw Johan is there. You want to talk to Johan? He's going to tell you if you'll be a successful trader. Right? So I'm laughing because Johan, everybody knows, is really successful trading a huge account, right? So So you make your own decision. Don't base it on anybody's else one, right? Okay, guys, anything else we're looking at? We have got all the setups, you've got all the trade going. You keep working. I think my group will still continue after I leave here. I would see you guys in the New York session. So today we'll be in 3 sessions. We'll be in the New York session, and then we'll come for FOMC. So remember, closer to the New York session, you have to get rid of your trades closer to FOMC. You don't want to be in any trades, right? You know that. That's simply because we'll have to see which direction we think they're likely going to go. So thank all of you for being here, and trade with care. I would see you later.
Yeah, please, let's look at USD, please.
Which one, Charles?
Dollar Swiss.
Dollar Swiss. Let's go take a look. Oh, this one. Let's go. We want to pull back, and then we're going to go for the sell. You can put an entry here if it drops through, because I don't think that's all the correct. Oh, it's already going up back, right? Great. See, the magic is working. So you can put this entry over here now. Right? This looks like a little flag for me. Here's the thing. If this is going to go much higher, you have to wait for a flag above. Because you can't buy this, right? To see the way we're looking at it. We're looking at this one, right? 1, 2, right? So this is 1, 2, 3. So this should be 1, 2, 3. If it drops here, you want that trade. Right? If it starts dropping, you want that one. If it's going to go higher, you will have to wait for this to break the top, make a flag, and then consider if you want that buy. But right now, we've got a perfect sell setup. See? Works like magic, right? It was just coming down, and I was like, okay, well, let's see if it goes back up before we do it. It's not magic. It's you can't guess this stuff. I mean, seriously, you can't guess that stuff. You're here, you're witnessing it, right? You can't guess that stuff that you're looking at this thing dropping and you're saying, okay, wait a second, I think it has to go back to the top there. And then come down. And then we'll be interested in selling it from here.
Please look at it from the 4-hour frame. Should we expect it to break the low?
Yeah, the bigger low, let's see. Yeah, we're expecting, now that this is coming down so much, I think they'll break this low. So we probably get a few more trades in it. Because there's no big consolidation in it, right? So I don't think it's trying, like these you have deeper consolidation, right? I would say maybe you're making a bigger flat, but this is sharp compared to that. So I think we're coming to break this low, at least this low, and in the bigger picture, maybe this low. Well, this is the one you need to break, basically. So first, we're going to break this one here. That is the one at the bottom here, but I think we might break this as well. So there's a trade coming back to here, and then from here, we'll still expect that up move. From here, we're still going to expect that move. So once it breaks the low, we'll see how far it go, because remember, this still is some kind of a consolidation. Weird one, but a consolidation. So go back to the 15, go for the trade, and let's see where it takes us. If they're going to make a deeper upside, which is possible, this is a huge flat, right? Rarely that huge flat at the bottom give you a deeper consolidation, but in this case, it can. Right? So if they're going to give us a deeper consolidation, what you would want to be to confirm that is you want a flag here. And if we get a flag from now to FOMC, that trade would be to the upside, because we'd assume that they're correcting this. This was just a big flat at the bottom. But every time you get a big flat at the bottom, always assume you're making a bigger flat. That's the assumption. You're not going to go with any other assumption until it makes a flag above here. So you can't buy it, because if we didn't have this deep pullback, we'd buy it. if that didn't happen and we just had a flag at the top here, I think we'll be buying it. So let's see if we get a flag here for the buy now. Sell setup and goal. Let's go with that. Not as yet. If it's going to, well, you do have this pullback if you want to go with this, but this is coming down really slow with a pullback to the top here. See that one went back to the top there? So if it is going to be a sell setup, let it come lower and go back up. So we will pull this if this comes anywhere lower into this, right? So if this comes anywhere lower here, pull that one. Let it go back up and then go with the sell. Right? Because if you take this, this would have been a sell if we didn't pull back so deep into this. Right? If we didn't have that pull back to the top there, I think would be, and then remember, we didn't even break the top. So it's not like you're looking at this as the flat, this here. This is where you're in now. You're in this one here right now. See, down, up, down, with an expanding flat in the middle. So down here. So now the question is, this piece, this is corrective. You can look at that as a 1, 2, 3 there. But this is not coming down very sharp. So we need this to go back up. And if it comes back here and then start to drop, we can look for a sell. Right? As a matter of fact, if you get a buy inside here to go, you can take the buy from inside to break the top. So we still have to wait until we get that clear before we decide the direction. This is not, this running flat looks okay. It was all we were expecting, so that happened. It looks okay to me. So I wouldn't be surprised if they still make one more up. Right? The gold tends to do that. It makes a big flat, and then you get a small flat inside here for the next move. I think we have that a number of times. So if we look at this as a big running flat, this small flat for the upside makes sense. And like this one here too, you got a big flat, and then, well, this is a very small one, but like a flat inside of here before you go. And then you get the rest of them, right? So let's see, this one is inside the impulse, and I think the buy is still valid until it comes a little lower. And if it comes too low, not good. If you want to buy it in the 5 minutes, come for a flag inside here. Wait for this to give you a flag. So if this goes up there and give you a flag, you take this flag and go for the top. Euro yen.
Okay.
Sorry. Euro yen. Okay, euro yen. We're going back up. It seems this could end up being the expanding flat we're looking for. We're looking for a running flat. Could be an expanding flat. Let's see if it gets back to the top here. I'll put it like this and leave it for now. See if we get back to the top. I don't see the buy setup. I'm in the 5 minutes. So in the 15 minutes, there is no buy setup. Can it become a sell setup? Well, if I'm going to sell it, it needs to drop and make a flag for me. The seller ranges are huge. If it goes sideways here, you can buy this to go test the top. So if you get a flag like this here, you can go for the top. But there's no 15 minutes flag to go with. I don't see anything right now. Kind of pull back, but oh, this might be the only one, but this wasn't the low. This was the low. So if it makes a flag, then only you go for it. You need some kind of consolidation to confirm that you're going to get one more up. This was nice. We sold that. So if you get something here, I mean, something like that, you go for this one. Let's see if we can get that. I think the best trade right now is still on silver for the sell. Silver sell looks perfect. See? Now, not a fact that this is going to drop, right? Remember, this could still be some kind of a flat here. And go back up one more. And then we'll see how high this goes. I wouldn't buy it because of this pullback. I wouldn't buy that. Right? Because this could just go and break the top here and then come right back here. Maybe even go back up and come. But if you get it from here to sell, then yes, it will make sense. EU and GU for flag. Okay, Johan, let's take a look. Yep, it's coming back. So wait for flag. You see, Johan got that. So actually, you've got a big flag here. But if you get another flag here, that would be perfect. This didn't break the top, so could have get aggressive sell, but wait for a flag. That would be perfect. Let me see GU. GU, we already think we have the entry in it. Oh no, we're waiting. It made the pullback, right? This one made the pullback here. It tagged this stop. It kind of come very close. So you can actually put an entry order here if you want, or you can wait to see whether it makes a flag. Both of those will work. Right? Because it did have a pullback up. We're waiting for a pullback to see what it's doing. You can look at this as 1, 2, 3. Then this would be 1, 2, 3. If for whatever reason we look at it differently, I think that makes sense. But even if it goes back up, it will come back to this top and then drop. If you get the ideal thing is if you get a flag here, that would be a perfect sell. That would confirm the downside totally. So good. Look for this one. Look for the sell setup. It has a lot to go if it's going, right? So there's a lot to the downside. You don't have to really worry very much. All right, we broke that top, so we're coming back for a bigger downside. If this is coming back, it could come back all the way to here as a 1, 2, 3. And you're still at the top there, right? So let's see. Try to see if you can get it early, and then we'll see how much trades we can get the downside.
I'm targeting New Zealand dollar when it's going well. So
New Zealand dollar for the sell. Yeah, that's an active sell. You should be in that trade already. Perfect. See? New Zealand is also already dropping, right? So that's the trade. This was the best one, right? This is a no-brainer. You have a nice impulse, you have a nice flag, and you have a deep correction coming. So go for it. That's perfect. And the flag is very small. It's not going back to the top of the impulse, and that makes it much more better to trade. It's in a much more aggressive. It means that there isn't any buy orders coming up that is pushing it back to the top. Whatever buy orders were there, filled very fast, not much, not huge because it didn't go back to the top, and then it's dropping. Somebody in UK 100 and somebody want NASDAQ on that thing. So, okay, I think NASDAQ is first. Let's look at NASDAQ and then we'll go look at UK 100. Okay, NASDAQ gave the up one, but it went to the top, so I wouldn't take the sell there. Although it came down, I wouldn't take that sell. So we were looking for a small running flat here and then sell under the low, but it went back to the top, so that would not be a sell. But this could be a sell. This here could be a sell. If it forms a good correction there, you could go for a sell, but you want to see how that where and how that correction is going to form. So we got a lot of pieces here that it has to go back up, probably come back here and go back up, something like this, and try to get it from the top because it might just give you one of that. If it comes back to the top here, it's going to be a huge correction for upside. So it depends on how you can trade within the range, but there is going to be an impulse to the downside first. Try to get it from the top here. So let it come back to this top, something like that. Let it come back there and then try to get the next impulse down. That'd be a better one. Bitcoin for short, and then we'll do UK 100 just now. Yeah, Bitcoin looks good. You're getting a short here. Yeah, that's a good one. That means you're going to drop one more. So yes, we did this in details. If you were following, I was giving all the stage of how and what you can do and where is kind of thing. And the reason this is the safe trade, and remember, we didn't put it in here, put it there, but we said if you get a flag here, you can buy this one up. So the same thing here. This flag would be a good sell to come and break. I'll take this off, right? This flag would be a good sell to come and break this low. Now, the only time you're going to think of buying this again is if this flag work its way back to the top here, come back here, and you get this flat. Then we will consider a buy from here to go up. Now, if you get that, you will end up in a problem. You just end up in a deeper correction or a very slow move to the upside. So let's see. Right now, it's a sell setup, but it's only to come and break this low. That is, if it drop, it's come break this low and then go back up. But a good sell setup. Well done. Can also be a running flat for more up. With this one, right? Yeah, I was thinking of this, but I was thinking of this one, but this is very sharp. So and this is not going sharp. I think we can put this one here for now. Expanding flat. And let's see if this goes up. Well, then it could be a flat here. But this one to take off with this running flat, this one is really sharp. I would, in that case, you come back with it. You come back with the same thing. Don't buy it in here as yet. Buy it outside of the range. Put an entry order here for a longer term trade and let it prove it's actually going to take off. Inside of this, I think the depth of this pullback is what would worry me about going up, right? If they're making a flag here, we'd consider this running flat and go up. But this is a deep pullback, and especially if it comes here and make another deep pullback, that will confirm it. So here's the thing. If this pullback to here, that confirms the downside. Absolutely confirm the downside, because then it will go up one more. Right? If this does this and come here, we likely go back up one more, and then you get something like this, which would be totally downside. It would have been a buy. I don't like that deep pullback. That changes the whole thing right there. You can also put this as a flat here, so this could be a sharp one of its own. My problem is this is really sharp. Let's see. We'll by this afternoon, we'll see whether we get a good flag for a buy or a good flag for a sell. I'll go mostly with the sell for now. Bigger picture is still upside, right? So you can keep that entry there if you want. Should something surprisingly happen, I mean, every now and then a surprise happens and it does this, you want that bigger trade, right? You don't want to catch it in here. You want to catch a big impulse, which means if there's a huge spike out of the pattern, then yes, you want it. Why no triangles in your webinar? Well, I actually trade what I see. I don't make up stuff as I go. And I don't see any triangles anywhere. Again, don't worry about the patterns. I think your problem is you probably are an Elliott wave or you come from Elliott wave, right? Where they said, okay, if it makes a running flat now, it has to make a triangle on the other one, or it has to make an ABC. Forget about all of that. Wave analysis is simplified by the way I do it. Did you watch the first webinar I did? The very, very first webinar? Go watch that webinar. I think I explained in details what wave analysis is about, right? Go watch that first webinar. Come back this afternoon and let's see if you still have questions. I'll answer it to you. But that very first webinar will explain to you what to look for. Forget about everything else. Forget about the labeling. Forget about all the, the names of the pattern is just so that you can differentiate them, which one you think you're seeing, right? You don't really need them to trade. To trade, you need to find that consolidation. You have to have a clear understanding of whether there is a possibility for a bigger down move or a bigger up move. And if you can identify that, yes, based on a bigger pattern, there is that possibility for that to happen, and you got this flag, and then your number 2 goal that is going to make you successful is trade management. A lot of traders in the world fail from trade management. They don't fail from taking trades. You could guess your way and make a good trade. As a matter of fact, there was a trader in our group who joined from Dubai who guessed his way into making $30,000 for 3 months. He literally would just come and sell the euro every day because euro was dropping. And he ended up making $30,000. And he kept selling the euro until he lost $60,000. You see? And the problem is when I look at the trades he took that he was losing on, I was like, why did you keep selling it? It's going up. He said, but that's what I did. I would wait for it to drop a little. His idea was that he did a simple thing. He would wait for it to drop a little. So euro was coming down. So euro would drop, he would wait for it to go back a little and he would sell. And if it goes a little higher, he'd sell another one. And then it would drop, right? Because it's a correction. It would drop. He repeat that process a number of times. And then it turned and he sold and it came down a little, but then it went up more. And what he did previously was he sold more. And now because he had more money in his account, this sell was bigger than these sells because those sells were smaller now. And this one became even a bigger sell because in his head, the higher it go, the bigger the fall. So the bigger the sell has to be. And then it did pull back a little. And the next one was like this. And that's where he lost 60,000. And he was like, I don't know what happened. And I'm like, you didn't see the turning point? I showed him that was the end of the pattern. And I actually went back and showed him in our room where we were actually buying these points. We were buying here to go up because we saw that turning point. But here's the thing. He couldn't see it. He had a strategy of selling the pullback. So he couldn't see this happen. There's no way he could see that happen. And when he lost 60,000, he stopped trading. And then good for him. One of the guy with the bank he was trading, one of the guy direct him to come talk to me. Save his life. Because that's the advantage of wave analysis, is that it allows you to understand the patterns in all time frame and where it can go. So even if you don't take the trade, you're not going to lose money. You're going to be on the side of caution. Okay? So think of what's happening in real and how you're going to take advantage. Don't kill yourself with trying to label it and understanding all of it. I mean, you waste too much. I'd see Elliott Wavers waste too much time arguing of whether that is a ABC or a WXYZ or all that nonsense, and all of them are wrong at the end of the day. Because they spend too much time wasting making it look very beautiful, and in reality, they don't even trade that stuff, right? None of them are coming and said, put an entry here, put a stop here, like I showed you just now on this one, which was it, the New Zealand? I said, put your entry here, put your stop here, and then we're going to see what happens to this trade, and then we start managing the trade, right? The first pullback is not your problem. It always will tag you in pullback. But that's where trade management comes in. Like I said, most people will lose because of trade management. It's what do you do with the trade when it doesn't go your way? That's what is going to make you a successful trader. Because think of it this way. If every time you click a trade randomly, you are not using any analysis, you're not even using the charts, you're just clicking a trade randomly. So you're selling or buying anything randomly. If every time the trade doesn't go the way you want it to go, you manage to close that trade for a very, very tiny loss, and every time it goes your way, you pull out a big profit. Even if you got 70% of your trade wrong, you would make a lot of money. Now, here is the question. What would you use to determine whether you're going to buy or sell it? That puts an edge into randomly guessing, right? So if you're guessing now and you said, okay, what about if I don't guess, but I use something to help me decide whether I should buy it and sell it? You already put an edge into your trading because now you have a sense of direction. And then you're going to ask the question, well, how do I know whether this one is going to go or it's not going to go? How do I know I should close this for a short loss or I shouldn't close it? What if when I close it for a small loss and keep going, I will end up closing all my trades for a small loss because then I wouldn't know which are the ones I should keep. Now, is there a certain things that you can use or certain rules you can use to say, well, if X, Y, Z happen, I will close the trade. And if A, B, C happen, I will let the trade stay and go or take me out of my stop loss. Now, if you find that and you can use that and it's helping you, which means all your bad trades are closed for a very small loss or break even, and all your good trades go to profit, it doesn't matter if you're wrong 80% of the time, you will still make money. But if you're using all these things to your advantage and you can select good trades and you're going to pick the better trades, and you can get 80% winning trades and 20% losing trades, and you can go with that advantage of the big trades you win, the small trades you lose small. You don't want me to tell you what's going to happen to your account. So you have to decide what do you need to learn to tell you which direction it's likely going to go. That's the first thing, right? You need to learn that. If you can find something that's going to help you, then whatever it is, let it help you. And the second thing is, which is more important than finding to know the direction, and more important than the strategy you're going to use to enter, which the strategy is a safety mechanism, right? You can sell it anytime if you think it's going down, but the strategy is saying, I want a confirmation that it's actually going to go down. So I can exclude some of them that didn't go down. So when you use a really good strategy, you're putting yourself at an advantage, like in any war, right? You can attack the enemy if you're a stronger one, but then if you use a strategy, you're going to get less of your soldiers killed, right? So this, and you're going to disarm your opponent very good. So the idea of using a strategy in here is that you might get the best trades, right? Then you might not get tagged in some of them that do not go your way. That's the whole point of the strategy. The money management part will still be the most important one. What do you do with a trade when you're in and it's not going? When it's going, that's easy. You take profit. When it's not going, what do you do? And how do you know that this is the one that is not going to go? Because anytime you go into trade, it will pull back. That's 90% of the time that you take a trade and it will pull back. And it doesn't matter where you take it. It will still pull back. So make your decision. Can you look at ZB1? ZB1, let's take a look at that and then we can call it a day. Johan put it nicely for you. I don't think you can see that. Johan said, what do you do with an employee who is not doing his job? You're getting an advice from one of the best traders in the world, right? What do you do with an employee who is not doing his job? You can keep him forever and let him bring down the company, or you can get rid of him very quick. The faster you get rid of him, the better for your company, right? Think of trading as your company. You'll get it. Let's see, ZB1. ZB1. Okay, I take the top one, I would assume. Oh, you have to use this on the daily. I don't have the charts for it. Let's see, the daily charts. Only the daily charts will work. Maybe the 4 hours will work. Let's see. You can use the 4 hours. Very nice sell setup, by the way. At the first glance, I can tell you there's a perfect sell setup coming on here. Let's look at the bigger picture now. Let's go to the weekly. I want to see the entire structure. That makes sense. I don't know where this come from, but this down move makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Right? This could drop here. It could come back here. If I know where this come from, I'll have a better understanding of what this is. Right? But we broke out of that. You got to pull back. This is a good one. If this drop, you won that trade. That's a manageable trade. So if you put it like this on the 1 hour, I don't think the 1 hour chart will work for me. See, it's not working. If this consolidation, it's an incomplete pattern, right? If I can see it in the 1 hour, this is an incomplete pattern. You're still in the consolidation phase here. If it goes back like that and gives you this one, then this trade should be perfect. You wanted the bottom one? I think you should have the same thing, right? Check the bottom one and see if you have the same thing. We can look at it again this afternoon for you. So I'll just leave this here, but it's an incomplete sell, but it will be more of a sell. Okay, one of my trader one, let's see. Buy setup is coming. You're getting the buy setup here. I expect the buy setup. I don't think it's coming back down. This should break out. It's consolidating in a big range here, so you can figure out if you can get it from the bottom going up, where the range is. How deep? That's a deep pullback, by the way. Oh, we did break that top. So if we broke the top, then we can make an assumption that this, I don't think we're coming down. I think it's just a deeper correction. Because this 1, 2, 3 seems perfect. So what you're going to do here now, let's say this belongs to this. All right, let's just put this somewhere here. So it belongs to that. So if you get a consolidation here, we sell it. But if you get a flag, go for the upside. So I'm going to go into 1 hour 15 minutes. So on the 15 minutes, we broke this top, right? See, we broke that top there. So this is the top. If it consolidates here, go for the upside. Either is a correction and then come back here and go. But if it consolidates in this range, go for the sell. You only have one piece, so we can't make a decision as yet. But you get the idea. By New York time, we'll come back. Remind me, Matthews, let's look at it in the New York session as well. We'll probably take a look at that. So, okay, guys, all of you trade with care. Take care, and I'll see you this afternoon. And my traders, if you can come this afternoon for FOMC, we'll be there. We'll see, especially if we have good setups, we'll definitely be there.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, yes,
From
Stephen,
here.
go ahead.
So, yeah, in one of your recordings, like a few days ago, you asked for anyone to make a suggestion on a platform to switch to from Facebook Workplace, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So has anyone suggested Discord, or have you thought about that?
We used Discord before. I don't think we had the security of the videos in there, but we can check it again. I have a Discord account. When we looked at Discord before, they didn't secure the videos. It means the videos that we have could easily be transferred out of the thing. So that was Facebook good advantage, is that the videos are secured. But we can relook at Discord again and see if there's anything. But post it in the group. I'll ask the guys to check it. Well, everybody who's here can check it and let us see. We have a year. We'll find one. Discord might have made changes. If they made changes, then that could work. So, okay. Everybody take care. I will see all of you. Thanks for coming. See you this afternoon. Bye.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Will.
man.
Welcome. Okay, where do I get it? Here? Nope. Oh, yes, here.